Hi there. Welcome to Pateo Television. My name is Johan Oldenkamp and I'm the presenter of Pateo TV. This 31st episode of Pateo TV will be really special because I am the subject of this episode. I will talk about my background in order to share this information via video, and that saves me time when I do a presentation. I can simply refer to this video and spend all my time on explaining my work instead of my background. That's why I'm recording this video. Switch off my camera. Yeah, my first name is Johan, and I am of the family of Oldenkamp, but also of the family of Drijver, family of Bakker, and the family of Vrieling. These are my four ancestors, and these are my parents. I'm also doing research on genealogy, and if you are a descendant of my grandparents too, or somehow related to them, you can contact me and we can share information. This is me as a young boy. In the Netherlands in those days, it was the so-called Queen's Day was celebrated. You see me holding the national flag of the Netherlands, and my head has the color orange. That's a black and white picture, you can't see it, but it was orange. But it's all very strange because the so-called royals in the Netherlands are neither of Orange nor of Nassau. So that's a big scam. I explained that in another video of Pateo TV. I'm holding here the hand of a girl I was a little bit in love with in those days, and this was the beginning of my primary school. And I'm a little bit later here, and I'm in between two of my closest friends at that moment. Yeah, this is me again. And this was that primary school I went to, and its name is Oranje Nassau. It means orange and Nassau. And nowadays I think it's a really silly name for a school. Anyway, it was in the northeast of the Netherlands, in the province of Groningen, in the city of Stadskanaal. I'm older here. I was very athletic in those days. I won a running contest around the school, and I'm holding my medal here. This was when I just went to that school, and I'm a little bit older there. And that school was named after Mr. Ubbo Emmius, and that's also in the city of Stadskanaal. And this was my high school. And already then I got interested in martial arts. I practiced then jiu-jitsu, and when I went to go to university in Groningen, I also started to practice karate, or actually karate-do, the way of empty hands. And I also started to practice judo as well, together with kobu-jutsu. It's an ancient martial art from Okinawa with classical weapons. You can see me here working with the nunchucks. And this was my former teacher then, and we were practice mates as well. And when he stopped being a karate teacher, I became his successor, and I was a karate teacher too, together with another friend of mine. And my karate teacher was also my training mate for kobu-jutsu. Yeah, so here we were not teachers, we were both apprentices, and I really enjoyed this a lot. I even became national champion in kobu-jutsu in 1995. And in that same year, I was also the runner-up in the national championship on karate. So I enjoyed doing this a lot. It was actually a way of living for me in those days. Yeah, here you see me do fighting, kumite, and this is kata. But not only physical combat, I enjoyed also mental combat. I like to play the game of chess very much, but also the game of Go. That's from Eastern, the Far East, so to say, from my perspective. Yeah, beautiful game. I'm still very much in love with the beauty. And also I played this game, some people refer to it as checkers, but it's all about developing your mental fitness together with physical fitness, which I practiced here. And I also succeeded in defending my PhD, my dissertation. So I got a physical philosophia doctor title, PhD, based on this dissertation, Quality in Fives, and it was at the University of Groningen in the north of the Netherlands. So I proved that I could do scientific research, independent scientific research, all by myself. And I still use this title a lot to show people that I am a real scientist. Actually, I think I am now more a scientist than university professors, because there's a lot of things wrong with the university scientific theories. And that's what I'm also showing in my current work. After my PhD, I started to work at the Telematics Institute in the city of Enschede in the Netherlands. And then later I went to the city of Utrecht and became a management consultant. First at Ernst & Young, and then that company was bought by Capgemini, and I worked also there for many years. Then I decided to start my own company, Oldenkamp Knowing Services, OKS, and later I renamed that company into Pateo, and that website is still there, pateo.nl. It's a Latin word that means no longer hidden. I wanted to bring a lot of information out in the open via pateo.nl. And I also then accepted a position at the Standen University in the city of Emmen in the province of Drenthe, Netherlands. And that was a position of Professor of Knowledge Transfer, Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship, I have to pronounce it correctly, sorry. And yeah, this was actually the height, so to say, of my career, because at that moment I stopped. I resigned, I also ended my company, and I sold my house, and I took all the money from the bank, and from that moment on I started to live off the grid, because I knew there were many things wrong with our current system, and I wanted to make a change. So be the change that you are wanting to create in the world. That's what I did. And now I know that everything in our current society is based on sand. It's built on sand. So it's not strong, and it is already collapsing. Yeah, for instance, the financial institutions are based on creating money out of thin air. To me, that's fraud. And the healthcare is all about keeping people addicted to pharmaceutical drugs. And journalists are not doing any research at all anymore. They're simply copying what Reuters is telling them. That's not journalism to me at all. And of course, the politicians are puppets and so on. So many things are wrong in our society, but also the universities are not telling us the truth. The theories we find at the universities are mostly false, because they're also built on sand. It's very important that you build your house on rock, as this metaphor is in the New Testament of the Bible. And it's not about believing, because anyone who believes has built his house on sand also. Building on rock means knowing something for sure, 100% sure, and do not believe a single part of it. And that's what I've been promoting for long, via my website pateo.nl. And Pateo to me also means a positive attitude towards every opportunity. And NL doesn't mean Netherlands to me, because that's a fiction I know now. It's a legal fiction. NL to me means natural logic. And that's what holy science is all about, the science of the whole. I'm also a conscious objector to making a sickness treatment cost risk assurance contract. That's a very long word, but in the Netherlands it's compulsory to have such a contract, and I refuse to do so. And that's why the government was harassing me a lot. They even said that they would sell all my properties in order to get the money for all the fines I didn't pay either. But that never happened. And actually I turned it upside down. I created a kind of symposium, and people came to my house and made videos. A Carefree Health Symposium, which was held on March 16 in 2012 in the town of Zeist in the Netherlands, which I was living there in those days. So the government tries to somehow fool you, but if you stand up against that, that intimidation, then you will see that they will back off, because they know they are using all kinds of illegal tricks, unlawful tricks. But you have to stand up and say no, because they don't have any power over you, but you have to recognize that first. And you have to express it too. And I also organized a Wholeness Festival. And this has everything to do with the ending of the long count calendar of the Mayan people. Because according to my calculation, that happened on July the 14th in 2012. Some people talked about 21 of December or December 23, but to me that is based on nothing. So I used this date, and many people joined me in celebrating the ending of the long count calendar and the starting of the new era. And that's happened here on this festival on the estate De Rehorst, in between the cities of Driebergen and Zeist in the Netherlands. That was a huge success. It started on Friday the 13th and it ended on July the 15th with the start of the new era, or the new age if you want. I'm not very happy with the new age literature and the new age people, because there are many things wrong there. That's also built on sand, not on rock. And I was also the party leader of a new movement in the Netherlands that wanted to make really big changes in the legislation and so on. We didn't make it, by the way. I got only about 21% of the quota that's required for one seat in the Dutch parliament. But still, many people saw that it was possible, and they liked our program a lot. In total, I've written up to now 37 books, most of them in Dutch, but 10 also in English. Of course, my PhD thesis was in English, but also this book, Understanding Nature. You can find it on my website as a free PDF. You can read it for free. And also The Bigger Picture and Holy Science, together with The Scale of the Electron. So these three books are also available as free PDFs in English. Then I wrote more books. Understanding God is sold out as a hard copy, but still available as a free PDF. And this book, Holy Science, which is a rather thick book, 540 pages, that is still available as an ebook. It is sold out as a hard copy, but the ebook is still available. Solving the Jfk Case is also a free ebook, because in this book I prove that John F. Kennedy was never murdered. It was all staged. And in Meet the Elite, I explain which families are really ruling this world, or trying to rule this world, and how they pulled off that trick. Yeah, for this book you have to pay a little bit of money. It's not for free, Meet the Elite. And this ebook is neither for free. In order to support my work, you can buy these books. And the Tiamat Theory is also a book that is for sale. Ebook. So what is Holy Science? Holy Science is the wholesome reunion of sane science and sound spirituality. The science that we find at the university is rather insane. For instance, the evolution theory, which is not really a theory, is actually a religion, the evolution religion, and it's a very insane religion. So I don't want to have anything to do with that. And the spiritualities that we find in the religions are very unsound. They make you afraid for the devil and so on. But that's not really healthy at all. So it's important that spirituality is sound and that science is sane. And then Holy Science reunites them, because they were one in the old days, in the time of ancient Greece. these were two sides of the same coin, and in ancient Egypt as well, known as Kemet in those days, the Black Land. So they were one, but in the 17th century they were cut apart, and that was a very foolish thing to do, in my opinion. So holy science reunites them, and then it becomes wholesome. It's a wholesome reunion. And you need to understand the whole before you can start solving each problematic part. If your understanding is still at the same level as where these problems originate from, you will not be able to solve them. You have to bring your understanding to a higher level. And that's why holy science is so important. It's actually the new paradigm for the future to come. Most people are still not ready for it, but hopefully you are. Are you ready for holy science? Well, I sure hope you are. Holy science consists of many subjects. In fact, all subjects are part of holy science because it's the science of the whole. So how can it exclude subjects that are true? So everything that is true, that is valid, that's genuine, is part of holy science. And this was a first attempt for me to structure it with 13 subjects, because the number 13 is very important. And I also have radio shows. I invite people who have interesting things to share, and then they can talk about that for a whole hour in a live broadcast. I don't necessarily need to agree with everything they are saying. It's just a platform. It's a stage for them to share their points of view. And so far I've done 56 shows in English, and one in German and the rest in Dutch. I also did live broadcasts via the internet for 2 hours in a row. And I started with that in 2015. Currently, I'm not doing live shows anymore on the internet, but I still make videos like this one and put them then on YouTube. But I've done 30 shows now in English, and this is, as I said in the beginning, episode 31 of Pateo Television. But I also did shows in Spanish, in German, in France, in Italian, and even in Arabic. And many in Dutch, because that's my mother tongue. And I send out newsletters. If you want to receive my English newsletter, simply send me an email and I will put you on the list. And if you don't want to receive them anymore, simply send me an unsubscribed email and I'll take you off the list. As simple as that. This is my all English website, holyscience.org, and you can simply type in any word here on which you're interested in and click on the magnifying glass and you will search on this website, because this is a very structured website, also for the search engines. This is a website I created myself. I didn't use WordPress. This one is made in WordPress, but I've made this one myself with an HTML editor. So it's a little bit primitive, but for me it's working well. And this website has information in 10 different languages. Most is in English and in Dutch, but also in Spanish, French, German, and Italian. There's a lot of information, and also a little bit in Turkish. The information in Russian, Mandarin, and Arabic is very limited, but it's still there. And you can click on any subject in the menu on the left-hand side to find more about my work. For instance, all the TV shows you can find by simply clicking on Pateo TV. And all the radio broadcasts in the archive you can find by clicking there. Something I advise you to do if you are a researcher just like I am, click on Pateopedia, because that's my online encyclopedia, but it's not biased like the online encyclopedia of Wikipedia is. Wikipedia is actually filled with all kinds of straight out lies, and that's not good in my opinion. So I correct these lies in the Pateopedia. And the Pateopedia, you can see the web page of the Pateopedia here, the Holy Encyclopedia. And on these subjects here, you have more information. So simply click on them and then you find more. Yeah, for instance, all the false flag information, simply click on major events and then you will find the information that I found on each of those false flags. Yeah, so click first on Pateopedia and then you get this menu and then you click on these subjects. This is the book I already mentioned, 540 pages in full color. It is currently sold out and I'm not sure if I'm going to print new copies because it's a lot of money, but you can still buy the ebook for 30 euros or the equivalent in your own currency. You can have access to this, to these online PDF files. What I did instead of making book number 38 is I created a video course. And in this video course, I explain everything about holy science in the full breadth. So instead of reading a book, you can simply sit and listen and watch. This video course, which is consisting of 30 parts, lasts in total 35 hours and 53 hours, excuse me, and 35 minutes. Yeah, so each episode is about 2 hours of playing time. And yeah, I think this is by far the best way to learn more about holy science. I can guarantee you that you learn more in these 53.5 hours than you learn at the universities in 4 hours years of study. And the price is, of course, much cheaper. So simply invest this 35 hours time plus a little bit of money, because you have to pay money for this in order to support my work, but then you will learn a lot. And if you've done this video course, then later on you can also access the Holy Science School of Sorcery, because then we'll become all sorcerers. That's why this 30th episode ends with sorcery. And it's very important that you have the U in this word, because it's creating from the source. That's what we learn at the Holy Science School of Sorcery. If you want to follow me, for instance, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Simply click on subscribe under this video, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn, or you can follow me on Twitter, or you can connect with me on Facebook. I'm not doing this myself on Facebook. Other people help me with this because I'm not a Facebook user, but that's a different story. I don't trust it that much. But you can also, of course, use your own browser, any one you like, and go to either pateo.nl and click on English. Well, actually, it's standard on English when you enter it, or you go to holyscience.org. Thank you very much for watching this episode. Namaste.